Okay, here we are in Europe. Sorry about the last video and the audio, but anyway, I added some few things and I think I made it better actually. So at least give me a chance to some time to improve it. So Europe is known. Whoops, maybe not too far. As you see, so Europe, as you know, is part of the big Eurasian, not that much, supercontinent. And we've already done Asia. We know how diverse Asia is. Okay. And so, it's Asia is like, kind of a huge landmass. And then you have over here little tiny Europe. And it's kind of known as a peninsula of peninsulas. And if you look at it, adjacent to the rest of the Eurasian continent, you kind of can see it. And it's surrounded by the peninsula is a piece of land surrounded by water on three sides. So it's definitely that. We have the Mediterranean Sea to the south, the Atlantic Ocean to the west, and the Arctic Ocean to the north, plus all these other seas. Okay, let's get that back upright. So we're gonna look at these. First of all, we're gonna look at it piece by piece with all the peninsulas. So the first peninsula we're gonna look at is the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal. Right here, it's it's actually, you can look and see how it's kind of matches northern Africa right here. And it's separated by northern Africa by the Strait of Gibraltar. It's just a teeny tiny little place right here. I mean, very narrow gap of water. You can see each other. You can see each border from each place. And we'll go more into the Strait of Gibraltar in a minute. And then it's separated by the main continent, the Pyrenees mountain range to the north right here. So Spain is kind of diverse. It's a small place, but it's got lush to tropical, and it even has. We're gonna go to the Strait of Gibraltar. Here you can see you can see. That's the Rock of Gibraltar, and it basically the Strait of Gibraltar just separates the Atlantic Ocean from the Mediterranean Sea. It's one of the busiest waterways in the world, as you can imagine. It's bringing bringing goods and services from all over the world. People come through here to deliver to the ports in Europe, northern Africa, go through the Suez Canal, and here's some pictures you can see. And that's the Rock of Gibraltar. And then the Pyrenees mountain range is kind of interesting too. There's actually a little tiny nation, Andorra, right there in the middle of it, and it's rocky. It's an older mountain range. It's rocky with some grassland, really a lot of it's been inhabited for a long time, and Neanderthals inhabited it. And that's Andorra right there in the little valley. And just interesting landscape, castles, and the Moors at one time lived in Spain. And there's some used to be some territorial battles. There's where see France and Spain, and then there's the Basques. I think, that's what they're called. They claim. That's why I tell you political boundaries are subjective, because there's people that they claim these territories are indigenous people, and they claim these territories. And I didn't really mark their land off, but just so you're aware. And then also, did you know that Spain has a desert? The Tabernas is one of Spain's semi-arid deserts. It's kind of cool looking. Looks kind of like the western part of the United States too. It's very similar to Death Valley because it's kind of got that Mediterranean. It's kind of close to the, this kind of looks like a face right here, but it looks different from the Sahara Desert to me, where it's just more rocky and just arid. There's still lots of plant life. But really pretty place. To me, yeah, it looks like the western part of the United States, especially Death Valley. Very similar. So, that is Spain. That's the Iberian Peninsula. And the next peninsula is the Italian Peninsula. And Italy is the only country that inhabits the Italian Peninsula. But they do have some really cool things. It's very active volcanoes. Mount Etna is actually, I'm going to show you. Mount Etna, Mount Vesuvius, destroyed Pompeii thousands of years ago. But Mount Etna is actually in the process. It is erupting right now. Where did it go? Oh my goodness, I just had it. Italy. That's Stromboli. That's another one. I didn't mark it on there. It is erupting as well. Oh wait, here's. Okay, where's Mount Etna? Well, let's see. Oh, there's Etna. Okay, I got there somewhere. But this is actually a picture today. Right here. Of Mount Etna erupting. But it's a pretty cool stratovolcano. It's on the island of Sicily, which is a part of. And there's the picture. You can see the dome and the eruption right there. And then, of course, there's, like I said, there's Mount Vesuvius. That is actually on the peninsula, the main part of Italy. Another place, you can see the dome. This is another stratovolcano, surrounded by city. But I believe it has had recent activity as well. I don't think it's near as Mount Etna. So that is the Italian Peninsula, and to the north, the Italian Peninsula, of course, is bordered by, cut off from the main continent by the Alps. So the Alps are very old. They were formed when two large tectonic plates collided, and they pushed the ground over tens of million years ago, creating some of the highest peaks in Europe. And the highest peak in the Alps is Mont Blanc at 4,800 meters. And the Alps, kind of the interesting thing about the Alps is that it's actually a part of this. Let me zoom out here. It's actually the part of the same mountain range, the Atlas Mountains in northern Africa, and so in Europe it starts here in Monaco, right right here, and you can see it goes. There's the Italian Alps, the French Alps, the Swiss Alps, the German Alps, the Austrian Alps, and the Slovenian Alps here. So it's pretty cold. So the Italian Peninsula has everything from the southern part, the warm tropics, to cold ice-capped mountains. And this is the Alps in Monaco. Kind of show you the difference. And that's the Alps. And then the other peninsula is the Balkan Peninsula, which is this triangular-shaped peninsula right here. Well, it's not really triangular. That's how they describe it. But see how it kind of has three sides. If you use your imagination. And then the northern part is wider. So it's separated by the Black Sea. You have the Black Sea, the Aegean right here, and the Mediterranean to the south, and then the Adriatic Sea right here. And it is another place, very dramatic landscape. They have your sea. This is typical Grecian landscape. And then this is Croatia. So very dramatic. And they are cut off by the Carpathian Mountains. Oh, wait, let's have the Black Sea first. Now, the Black Sea is the only sea I really am going to talk about. Kind of gets overlooked because it is interesting because it is one of the most isolated from world oceans. It is it's landlocked. It's a rather large sea. But all the major rivers, the Danube from Europe, they all end up here in the Black Sea, and then the Black Sea does run off into the Mediterranean Sea, but it has no access to an ocean, so it's kind of endangered. It's also heavily populated. It's when the surrounding area is vulnerable to pressure from land-based human activity, and its health is equally dependent from the coastal and non-coastal states of its basin. So too much activity ruins the balance. And you see there's Istanbul, there's on the border. You see everybody's getting into the Black Sea. I guess they're not afraid to swim in it, but it's just all the major cities from Ukraine and Romania, people tend to move to water. They need water, so they tend to populate around water. But the good news is that these countries are kind of coming together to try to figure out a way to help it, because the salinity, the overall chemical makeup could make it deadly for a lot of native species around it. So that's the Black Sea, and then we have the Carpathian Mountains. That's where Dracula lives. Anyway, sorry. That's so she basically pretty young, for younger than the Alps. But it does kind of form that, because it's moving. It still is forming. So when the Alps were created, when those continental plates met, well, they're still moving, so it's still creating these mountains. So you can see it kind of curves up from Slovakia all the way down to Romania and to Bulgaria, and you can see somebody curved a face in that one too. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, typical snow mountains. And next we go up. Okay, so next we're going north. Scandinavia. And Scandinavian is part of what they call the Western Upland. So from, or the northern Highlands, and it's like it curves. This part, even Iceland's kind of a part of it, and Scotland, basically the United Kingdom, British Isles, and then this part of France right here, because they were formed by glaciation. There's ancient rock. They're shaped by glaciation. Glaciation is the process of land being transformed by glaciers or ice sheets. And so as glaciers receded from the area, they left a number of distinct physical features, including they have abundant marshlands, lakes, and fjords. And a fjord is a long, like this picture right here, it's a long and narrow inland sea. So it's usually like basically you have high cliffs and little narrow slivers of land like that. So this is kind of a typical thing in Norway and Iceland. And then also Scandinavia is tundra or taiga, and it's a place of reindeer. And again, it is also being affected by global warming. So this is Finland. So that's what this. And then we're also going to go look at the Scottish Highlands, because it's also kind of a part of that same. You can see we are going to go zoom in here. I think we'll go to. Wait, stop. I don't want to go to. Where did it go? Let's go to Loch Carron. You kind of see how it's like little fingers. Oops. Oh, I wanted. No. Oh, what did you do? Goodness, I just started all over again. Okay. I'm not finished yet. Okay. Let's go to 3D mode here. And, we'll go to in here, zoom in here. We could go to sky. But you can kind of see the typical landscape here. Rocky, rugged, and this is by a lake. Let's see. Let's go to like in the middle of the. See all these little. See, there's all these little lakes right in the middle of the mountains. Just kind of, it's kind of like the Great Rift Valley too. How the kind of. These places get flooded. This time it's flooded with made with the glaciers. Let's go over here. Just like a good place. Not super high or anything, but just very hilly. And just rocky and rugged. And okay, so that is Scottish Highlands. Next place we have is called the Jutland. That is basically this peninsula, which is actually kind of technically part of Scandinavia. They include Denmark and the Netherlands as a part of Scandinavia. See, it's actually kind of connected. There's just a little narrow right here, so it's technically not landlocked or connected to it by land, but you can see they have roads and things. So, but this is called the Jetland, and it's kind of its own unique landform, I guess, between the Baltic and the North Sea. But it includes this part of Denmark, Germany, So that little part right there, see, that's where the German border is, and it pretty much looks like it's a typical peninsula in the middle of the sea. It's got plains, kind of low, and then but it still kind of depends on the sea. Probably very windy. And then the last physical feature we have is the Northern European plain. And that's basically just like any plain. It's grassland, flat, pretty much flat. It extends from France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Poland, right through here. It looks like a typical flat plain. Grass is France with lots of farmland and grass, some trees. So that's Europe, and I hope you enjoyed.